Hello everybody, Mr. O here, and we are visiting an art room sink, and we're going to talk about cleaning paintbrushes. So I apologize for the humming of air conditioners and maybe announcements over loudspeakers, but let me share with you some casualties. No matter how good we are as cleaners, sometimes students get forgetful, teachers get forgetful, artists get forgetful, and you can see by this brush it's not going to survive much longer. Paint has dried in it. We got some other casualties. As they get older, they get stiffer. And while they might have a use, and then we can even destroy brushes by painting with them incorrectly. Now, this may be the way you want to paint it by smashing it in, but you want to have a dedicated brush for that. And if you're a student within an art room, you probably should ask your art teacher whether you can do that. But if you look at the up close, they didn't clean out all the paint. And we're going to talk about how we properly clean brushes. And let me show you this one. This brush looks like it's a damaged brush also, very worn. It's actually very old, but it's still very soft because it's been taken care of and it's been clean. This brush is approximately, let's see, about 30 years old. It's my brush. It's one of the older ones I have. I have brushes I've had since high school that look brand new, and it's because I do proper brush care. There's different ways of cleaning brushes. Let me talk about using glass containers. Most times when you see artists, they'll fill it up with water, or if they're doing oil paint, this will be mineral spirits or turpentine in a mason jar so they can seal it after they're done, or let their brushes soak. They could spend money and get a jar that you put water in with your watercolor or acrylic brushes, and you just rub it and it'll clean the brush with the metal spirals. I've discovered something from a water bottle, and I love this. This is a cap of a water bottle, and make sure it has these little dividers in there. And I have found that if I swirl my watercolor brush or my acrylic brush, it scrapes the paint right off gently. And it's for acrylic, you still got to rinse it under the sink, and I'm going to show that here in a little bit. It's important to get as much paint out of your brush as possible. And we're going to start with a new brush. I have this brand new brush, very soft, and I want to talk about, because when students get new brushes for the first time, they get paranoid because the brush stains. Especially if you paint with blue or red, it will stain your brush, and it doesn't mean it's not clean. As long as it stays soft and firm, you guys are doing a great job. And so let's just say I have my palette, I have my brush, and I'm painting, and now it's time to clean up. And notice a couple things. Now you're going to be messy painters. Sometimes even the greatest of us get paint all the way up, but you try not to go all the way to the metal if possible. So I'm going to gently put the water on, and I want you to think about a brush as a cat's tail. Some of you can pet your cat's tail, but most of you cannot. But you want to be very gentle either way. So as I'm washing, as you can see, I'm spreading it and I'm being gentle. If you're somebody who is a heavy painter, you might want to split a little, but you don't pull on it. You ever have a brush and you pull and the bristles just come right out? That's because people are drying and yanking it and pulling on it. So as you can see, let's just turn the water off so you can hear me better. Now I do have that light blue stain, but it is clean. And I usually dry my brushes, and then I would put them in a jar. Let's get that mason jar so you can see that. So let's just say this was my brush holder, and I will always put my brushes up. That way I don't get that little bend from pressure and gravity on the bottom. And that way, if you do a good job of cleaning, you don't end up having to paint with brushes like this. I understand in a lot of art rooms, they only buy the brushes they can afford, but I know many art teachers go out of their way, even with their own pocket, to buy quality brushes for you. So please take care of that stuff. Take care of your own stuff. Even when washing pallets, you know, it's the same thing. Be gentle and watch. I'm just going to use my thumb. Before I even use anything, I can just paint with, you know, clean it with my thumb. And then since everything is under the water, I just rub my fingers together and bam, I'm done. Now, of course, I would clean the sink up, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this, because the next person who uses this palette doesn't want a puddle of water. And I might just take the towel, get it moist, and wipe the paint down the sink. Now, if you take paint down the sink, let's get that. Of course, I'm going to have trouble. You let the water run a little bit. So let's just say I get this super clean, and don't worry, I'll go back and make it super, super clean. I will just turn the water on more, let it run down up through the elbow so it doesn't plug up the sink. And of course, I have a clay trap on my sink, so I collect the paint and clay and stuff like that. So I have my palette dry, I have my brush dry, and I have my sink clean. Guys, take good care of the brushes, whether you're using a watercolor brush or acrylic brush, or you're doing oil painting. And like I said, I love this water cap. I use it for myself personally, and I use it within my classroom sometimes to let students, and most times their brush is pretty much clean from that, and they just kind of have to just do a little rinse, dry, and put away. So thank you very much. And of course, we can't forget this. I can paint it in the sink and wash it away. And you guys are loved. We'll see you guys real soon. Have a beautiful day.